Ulf-Inge Haaland, a Norwegian international who spent a decade in English football playing for Nottingham Forest, Leeds United and Manchester City. His most impressive achievements came in a Leeds jersey, where he featured in the team that made the UEFA Cup semi-finals and qualified for the Champions League. Though what the elder Haaland is remembered for is his infamous feud with Roy Keane. In 1997, when trying to foul Haaland, Keane ended up injuring his own anterior cruciate ligament, which resulted in the United captain being stretchered off the field and sidelined for over a year. A few years later, in 2001, the two met again in the Manchester derby, and Keane seemingly deliberately, brutally fouled Haaland on his knee, warranting a red card and much-deserved 5-match ban. Though this horror tackle had devastating consequences for Haaland's career, who shortly after was forced to retire from football. However, Haaland's legacy isn't yet set in stone, as almost 2 decades later, his son Erling Braut has emerged as one of the hottest young goal scorers in the sport today. So with today's video, I figured we'd take a closer look at this young prodigy and give some insight as to how good he actually is. The young Haaland, born in Leeds 2000, began his career at the Academy of Bern, where for the reserve side in 2015-16, he scored 18 goals in 14 games. He made his senior debut at age 15, and following a series of impressive performances, Haaland was identified by none other than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who brought him over to FC Molde, the club he was managing at the time. While Haaland would score on his debut in the Norwegian Cup, his most impressive performance came in a 4-0 win over the league leaders, as Haaland scored all 4 goals in just 17 minutes. He continued to perform and rake in goals, and even opened his account in the Europa League. Come the end of the 2018 season, Haaland had tallied 16 goals in 30 matches. Not too long after his 18th birthday, Solskjaer confirmed that many bids had been made for his young striker, and next thing you knew, Haaland was headed to Austria after signing a 5-year deal with Red Bull Salzburg. Last season, Haaland, with limited opportunities, scored 1 goal in just 2 league appearances. But it was this summer with Norway at the FIFA Under-20s World Cup when Haaland began to make waves around world football. Coming into the tournament, Haaland had enjoyed a lot of success during previous youth tournaments, securing Norway's place at the Under-19s European Championships with a hat-trick in a 5-4 win over Scotland. But that was nothing compared to his performance against Honduras Under-20s in the group stages, where Haaland scored a record-breaking 9 goals in Norway's 12-0 win, becoming the first player to score a triple hat-trick in an Under-20s World Cup game, which was enough to win him tournament golden boot, despite not scoring in any other games and seeing his country eliminated in the group stages. Since, Haaland has carried that momentum into the 2019-20 season, where the 19-year-old has been on absolute fire, with 3 hat-tricks already for Salzburg to start the season. So far in total, the teenage goal sensation has 20 goals and 5 assists in just 13 games, and is among the top scorers in Europe. But it's not as if Haaland is stat padding against teams domestically, because he's also been breaking records in the Champions League as well. So far in 3 appearances, Haaland has a record-tying 6 goals, becoming not only just the second player in history to score in his first 3 UCL appearances, but is also the top scorer in the Champions League this season, currently sitting on 6 goals. And again, it's not like he's playing weak competition either. Against Genk on his Champions League debut, he scored a first half hat-trick, he bagged 1 against Virgil van Dijk in the European champions Liverpool, and another 2 against Koulibaly and Napoli Tuesday night. With this incredible run of form to start the season, the 6-4 goal machine is now on the radar of all of Europe's top clubs, and the more and more he scores, the less likely it seems Salzburg will be able to hold on to him beyond New Year. The favourites to capture the young Norwegian signature are Manchester United, who since having lost Romelu Lukaku are in desperate need of a number 9 to fill that goal-scoring void. A move to Manchester would reunite Haaland with former manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whose footsteps Haaland would ideally like to follow in as United's next great Norwegian forward. That is assuming Ole is still in charge come the January transfer window. What's also interesting is that former United captain Roy Keane is someone who's been pushing publicly for United to go out and grab a number 9. That number 9 in all likelihood could end up being the seed of the man's career he controversially ended all those years ago, However, it won't be easy for United to land Haaland's signature, because not only will he be costly, but will top a lot of big clubs' transfer lists this Christmas. Although these sorts of things are irrelevant in football today, his father, understandably so, has a serious agenda with Manchester United, and publicly said during his career that he hates the club with a passion. Haaland also grew up a Leeds United fan, as Leeds, one of United's biggest rivals, was his city of birth. But as a player, the 19-year-old is nothing short of a physical specimen. At 6'4", he's lethal in the air and always a threat at set pieces, and besides that, Haaland also has a unique turn of pace at his size, and is as good a finisher as any young striker in world football. I believe, based on everything we've seen from Haaland so far, that he is the truth, and someone that projects to be a 25-30 goal a season forward, in one of Europe's top leagues for the next decade. I want you guys to let me know down below in the comments which big club do you think Haaland will join, and how good this young prodigy can actually be for years to come.
Please subscribe this channel.